So much. You think I'm getting paid for this stuff?
You know, you start a Patreon.
Yeah, I'm going to start a Patreon and get people to start sending me money.
Yeah, subscribe, listen now. Hear the behind the scenes of the Eat Up Show and Geekodrome and the other show that you're doing that I don't
Let me
even know.
tell you, if like let's just say for argument's sake, because there's no other network, Food Network came to me and said, "Hey, we want Eat Up Show." All right, yeah, no problem. And then it's gangbusters, and then a few months later, like, "Hey, we want to do a behind the scenes, or like when you're doing your test dishes and stuff, and we'll set up web cameras so it's not intrusive. It doesn't look it'll look a little grainy. It'll look like it's done on cell phone. This way, it's like it's behind behind the scene." But we're going to charge people a premium on our website for it. I'd probably say no, because just I'll talk about a sponsor. Just get a sponsor for the damn thing.
Yeah, well, also like the big networks don't need the extra money as much as the little guys.
Yes.
We had the behind the scenes talk of what we think of Patreon. I think
I hate it. I'm just moving some stuff around. Hold on.
That's fine. Then we'll start. Yeah, no.
Start whenever you're ready.
If it's an artist giving extra art or something, then it's cool. But if it's like just a cash grab, like here's half the podcast. If you want to hear the other half, then you have to subscribe.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Do it or don't.
Exactly.
Okay.
I don't know if that's better. Is that better, or was it better where it was?
Oh, both are equally excellent.
Oh, thanks.
All right. Are we ready to go then?
Yes. So I'm just gonna move my chair over a little bit. Yes.
Okay. Then in that case, in 3, 2.
Oh no! Wait. Hold on. No, never mind.
Dick. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Geekodrome. Geekodrome is the weekly roundtable discussion of all things geek. I am John, and this week joining me, phoning it in quite literally, is Stugots.
What's up?
Not too much. So we left on.
Wait, hold on a second. It was in the sink already. I didn't empty it. I didn't even know where it was. Right. Sorry, dealing with child stuff.
Oh well, you got to make sure everything's in the sink. Clean things up.
No, because it was like apparently there was a mug that had a substance in it or a drink in it, and now that's glass is in the sink and it's empty. So it's like, hey, where's my drink? We played that game a lot in this house.
That's why you to label your mugs. It's an important safety tip. So, at the end of last week's show, we left on a cliffhanger.
We did?
We did.
It was about how bad my connections to everything are, and I can't get good quality to do a decent show. Was that the cliffhanger?
No, that's this week's cliffhanger.
Oh.
Last week, we left with the one question of, is Flight of the Conchords funny?
And the answer was no.
We did a scientific Twitter poll.
Yes, we asked one person.
We had more than one response.
Oh. We actually did a poll on the Twitter account.
We did.
I didn't even notice it.
It actually has 1 day left if you want to vote. But...
let me go vote. Will that swift change the wheels of the pendulum of justice?
No.
Oh.
It'll shift the numbers, but we could say, without a shadow of a doubt, even without your vote, at 82%.
Well, no, 75% now.
Oh, well, hold on. I got to refresh. Making me refresh. No, it's still telling me.
Vote.
It's showing me the exact same.
Vote no.
It's not updating for me. So I'm still seeing 82%.
Okay.
Say Flight of the Conchords is hilariously funny.
I feel bad for you. How many? And you voted once, and you probably used your girlfriend's to vote once.
She doesn't have Twitter.
Oh, okay.
I only voted once.
Okay.
To be fair, okay, it just updated. Now I see the 75. Okay. But to be fair, I do get a vote. Geekodrome itself did not place a vote. Actually, it can't because it
can't. It's its own
poll. But so now 75% say that Flight of the Conchords is hilariously funny, and 25% say it's the worst thing ever on HBO.
Mm.
So, the internet sides with me. Flight of the Conchords
We have a day left on this, so
all right. We'll keep you updated if anything changes with you trying to sway the votes.
I would never.
Yeah, I saw the Just Say No campaign. At least when I shared it.
That's what Nancy Reagan said. I didn't say that.
All right, we'll see what happens overnight.
She said to please just say no.
All right. So let's go with now The Good. Another TV show just ended its season, and that would be A Better Call Saul.
Oh my God, so good.
So what did you think of this season?
The whole season, I thought. I mean, those first few episodes were a little slow. And if you're watching along, wondering why my camera's moving, it's because it's my phone and it's sliding.
Yeah, we weren't kidding when I said he's literally phoning it in this.
Like week. I don't know what's wrong with the computer. Honestly, it's fine and then it's not. But get back to the topic. There was like maybe episodes 3, 4, and 5 went kind of slow because they were setting up, and that's fine because you got to have some setup. And then all of a sudden, whatever that episode was, where he gets mugged, that episode, like he gets rolled for his phones and his money. That next episode where he like goes after these punks. After that, it just took off. It really did.
Yeah, that was what, 6 or 7.
I think episode 6 is when it just took off again.
Yeah, I would honestly say the first half was really slow.
Yeah.
If I wasn't invested in the show, it's the kind of I would have jumped off.
Yeah.
But they have the goodwill of this is season 3?
5. No, it's 5.
5? Okay, 5. So they have the goodwill of 4 seasons.
I know there's a payoff. I know it.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where I love the characters enough from the previous seasons and everything else that I'm willing to kind of take the time with them.
And at the same time, there's some characters that needed some further character development as far as letting them flourish a little bit. Like, we needed those episodes with Mike, finding the right cement person and Demolition Crew. We needed that time just to see how close a relationship he has with the Colombian dude. What the hell is his name? I'm drawing a blank now.
Who, Gustav?
Yeah. To see to see like how important he is in that organization. Just like we needed to see him go around to the factories and do his safety checks to help build his cover story. It all, like, there was no doubt about it. We needed those episodes. We've become a little accustomed to, hey, we want payoff, and we do. But we know that on the flip side of that coin is, well, it's going to come. It's just a question of when, and they have to build. It's a story. It has to build to that crescendo.
I mean, I agree, and it's great to see that they're setting up stuff from the other series.
Yeah,
like this is obviously they're building beneath what's going to become was it the car wash? No, the laundromat.
The laundromat, yeah.
Car wash was Walter White's business.
Yeah.
So you could see that this is the beginning of the laundromat, which is awesome. So it's great that like we're kind of seeing the backstories for things that we've seen before. And that's what I love about it. I still love the characters. Kim is still a great character.
Yes.
I don't even have to say Jimmy McGill's a great character. He is the centerpiece.
I noticed that Kim was even acting like with her eyebrows and things in some scenes, including that last scene. And I remember, I want to say Kelsey Grammer once said in a story that, and I only know the story, which I'll get to in a second how I know the story, that Jack Benny had told him, when you could convey emotions with your eyebrows, you're really at another level of storytelling. And I learned that story. I've heard that story twice. So I never heard Kelsey Grammer tell the story, but I did hear it twice. I heard it once in a behind-the-scenes documentary with people with a director's cut on Animal House, where the director of Animal House is having Jim Belushi run through the gamut of emotions with his eyebrows. And then the commentary on that from modern commentary on it was the Kelsey Grammer story. The other time I heard that was when The Rock was once asked about the people's eyebrow. And he said, well, I heard in an interview one time Kelsey Grammer say that Jack Benny had told him that if you can convey emotions with those eyebrows, you're really going somewhere with your story. So to me, she does that, and she does it pretty well.
Yeah, she just has great facial expressions, just
Yeah.
dealing with him and putting up his bullshit. So, yeah, I mean, there's nothing bad about this show. I mean, that's the best part of it. Like,
No.
To say it's slow is just a minor complaint, but it's like more of a just, it's different and you're not used to it anymore.
Look, they introduced a character towards the end of the season that really isn't in Breaking Bad, except mentioned once or twice. So it's like, because Gus needed a foil to go against now for the next like season or two, however many seasons there are. And they could really milk it out until that happens. Until they say, hey, this is the last season.
I'm blanking on the guy's name. I know exactly.
Lalo, I think his name was Lalo.
Okay. Yeah, but he's like the one who's trying to trip up Mike and everything else.
And the best part is when they went into the restaurant, the chicken restaurant, Gus gives Nacho a look like, dude, what the fuck you bring him here for? Knowing that like you kind of got Nacho in a rough spot, you either have to take out the people in the top of the Salamanca family and install Nacho as that top guy, or you have to deal with the repercussions of the family coming back and forth, from Mexico to oversee operations.
Yeah, but I mean, ultimately, it has to end where they are in Breaking Bad.
Yes, and neither of those characters are. Like I said, Lalo has been mentioned, but Nacho not even mentioned. So, sooner or later, Nacho's buying the farm.
Oh yeah, I don't expect him to, get out of this show alive. Lalo, I don't even remember the mentions, but I was watching Breaking Bad before I ever watched Saul, and I haven't gone back.
Oh,
so I know you did the opposite, where you started watching Saul and it got you.
I watched Saul because I knew I would like the character just from what people had said when they had suggested the series to me. And then, went back and watched Breaking Bad. He gets mentioned in those scenes where they go back to dealing with the cartel in Mexico.
Okay, yeah, it makes sense. Oh, like the stuff at the swimming pools and whatever.
Yeah, but again, I don't think he's seen it. I just think he's mentioned.
Yeah, I don't think he's seen either.
No.
Because I don't even remember him being mentioned, to be honest. But he looks like he's going to be a great character. He's only had like 2 or 3 scenes so far. I don't know, but I also want to see that this show like doesn't go on forever. It has to have like that conclusion.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, if they say they're going to do 7 and that's it, I wouldn't complain.
No. I'd be disappointed only because I have this emotional investment in the characters. But other than that, yeah.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, everybody would have to have their, conclusion.
Yeah. Who needs it? Anyone who needs the conclusion. The other characters, I really feel like the last scene of the last episode should be Walter White and Jesse pulling into the parking lot of the law office in the mini mall.
Yeah. Like, I'd love to see it end with the beginning from the other show.
Yes, that was the first time we saw Saul.
Saul, yeah. Yeah, and, of course, he ended the season with a decision to change his name.
Yes, for business purposes.
For business purposes, which brings him one step closer to, the Breaking Bad character.
Now, what did you think about that one flashback episode that we had, like around episode, I want to say 5, where he's shredding documents, getting money out of the hidden panel in the wall?
Oh, I loved it.
I thought that was so cool.
It's just great because we knew that.
Did you do something, Cody? No.
Because it's just a different perspective on a scene we'd already seen.
Yes.
I mean, there were 3 or 4 different flashbacks this season. I mean, all were great, but it's just funny. The funniest to me was him as the law. Was it? I don't know if he's considered an intern or a law clerk or whatever, or just mailroom.
The mail guy.
Mail guy. All right. So, and he's just his age now.
Yeah.
But acting himself like 20 years earlier. So him and Kim.
That was true. But you saw how how much makeup they put on Michael McKean for those scenes.
Yeah.
But no one else is heavily made up.
It was funny. It was
Yeah.
awesome. But it kind of added context to the character. So I loved it. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing I didn't love about the season.
And a lot of ABBA music. ABBA was featured.
Were they?
Yeah, there was 2 scenes of ABBA, and then the song that him and his brother were singing at karaoke was an ABBA song.
Oh, I didn't even realize it was that many.
Yeah. I want to say 3 total, maybe 4 ABBA songs.
I hadn't even noticed. I really wasn't paying attention to the music this season. See, there's just layers going on.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why, I mean, Vince Gilligan is just such a genius.
Yeah, he's doing such a great job.
He is. I mean, we should just give him every franchise.
I would turn the Justice League over to him.
There you go. Well, I mean, the other thing is that what's great is it's all his creations. So he can do whatever he wants.
And there's none of that. Why did you have Mike hold a 45 caliber? It was 2006. He should have been using a 9mm. There's none of that because nobody knows. There's no mythos. He's creating it.
And to be honest, well, I mean, I don't see a lot of chatter about it online.
No, people who talk about it just say good stuff. There's no negative stuff about it.
Yeah, well, it's not an overly social show, but the ones who do talk about it love the show.
And the few reviews that I read this week, everything was positive. One person just mentioned I could have done without that Breaking Bad time flashback of them to the office.
That's just, and that's not even a complaint.
But it didn't fit anything. Yeah, we don't know where it fits into, how it fits into any of the other story that's being told. But at the same time, it's like, all right, well, so what?
Yeah, I think coming up we'll see a little more that'll fill in holes.
Yeah.
We got to find out what's happening with Cinnabon Saul, or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Cinnabon Saul. That's a good way to reference him.
There you go. So Cinnabon Saul. Then we have past, Jimmy. Yeah. And then now we're in present Saul. So it's got to lead to Breaking Bad Saul.
Yeah.
But fuck, I'm in till the show is over.
Yeah.
So I have my only complaint now is waiting a year for more.
I know. I said the same thing when Preacher was over. I'm like, all right, well, that was a fun 2.5 months. We'll see you next June.
Yeah. Well, that's the unfortunate thing. These shows are all 10 episodes. Yeah. See you next year. But but it's like watching a 5-year movie, 7-year movie.
Yeah.
So I can't complain too much. But one thing I can complain about is a movie I saw this week.
Oh, I saw 2 movies this week. So which one are you gonna reference?
Well, I know from Twitter that you saw A Star Is Born and Venom.
Oh my God, Star Is Born.
So since I didn't see it, how about a quick review of Star Is Born?
This movie has to walk away with a bunch of Academy Awards, definitely, and some Grammys. Such brilliant storytelling, brilliant performances. The music was awesome. It's going to actually lead to something in my hot pick that we'll get to later. But man, oh man, don't get me wrong. I've seen the Streisand Chris Christopherson version. I know the story. I know the ending. But the tweaks to that they've made to it, and obviously modernizing it, the music was great. If you've never seen the Streisand Christopherson version, you don't know the story. I don't know what to tell you because I'm going to tell you right now. The lead character dies, but that's the story. But how he died in this movie just affected me in such a way that I don't even think I can watch a Bradley Cooper movie going forward.
Well, are you aware that this is his directorial debut?
Yes, and he did a great job.
So yeah, so that's the reviews I've been hearing, all positive.
And Andrew Dice Clay shows up and as
her father.
Her father, and I didn't know because I just knew that they were in it. I didn't know he was in it. All of a sudden, he comes walking into the scene, and I laughed. When I saw him, it's only because I have some mutual friends with him, and I met him like 3 times, and the last time I met him, he actually said, if I see you again, I gotta give you a nickname. And I was like, oh shit, I don't want a nickname. So I just kind of laid off because I kind of knew what it was going to be, and I was just like, no, I'm not coming around anymore.
Why? What was it going to be?
It probably would have been Fat Guy.
Oh.
So when I saw him, I just laughed. I was like, ha! And the people sitting in front of us like looked at me like, what the hell's wrong with you? And Jen was like, well, why are you laughing? I was like, that's Andrew Clay. And she's like, oh, it's just someone who looks like him. I'm like, no, it's him. And then you see the closing credits, and he was third billed.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, his character was an important part of the movie,
Yeah, and he has said that this movie makes him want to quit acting because it's just so good.
Yeah, I could see that. It makes me not want to go to the movies anymore. I don't think I can watch a Bradley Cooper film.
Wow. I'll have to go see this.
And not because it was terrible, but because it was so moving, so impassioned, that I don't think I could separate him from the character he played in that movie.
Awesome. Well, I definitely need to see it now. I just don't know when I'll have the time, which is unfortunate.
We kind of had to squeeze it in because Jen and I had that same issue with time for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And it was like, all right, screw it. I'm leaving work early and we'll just go.
Yeah. Time is very tight for me till November when the marathon's over.
Yeah.
So, all right. But we did see a movie that we both saw.
Yeah.
And that would be The Venom.
Yes, Venom. I saw it yesterday with the kiddos.
I saw it last night as well. What did you think?
I liked it, and the kids liked it, and everyone that was in the theater seemed to enjoy it.
Yeah, I thought it was okay.
I mean, it wasn't, don't get me wrong, it's not Civil War, okay?
No.
But it's also not Justice League.
Is it closer to X-Men Age of Apocalypse?
No. It's definitely on the other side of that.
Yeah, I think I would put it above it.
Yeah, definitely above it. Yeah.
All right. So, what did you like about the movie?
I liked I liked him talking to himself in his head.
Yes.
And the action was great. It was well done. As far as the way the suit, the alien was incorporated, into things. I loved the cliffhanger at the end, and the bonus scene cliffhanger. I thought Hardy just played it really well of this reluctant superhero, but at the same time would still go with it. Like you saw in some of the fight scenes, he would hold back, and then some of the fight scenes he would just go. And and the alien would talk to him in his head, and was like, "Oh, good job,"
I'll take over now.
Yeah, was that one scene where he has the guy hooked, and he just goes back to punch him, and the Venom hand comes up, and he looks, and he's like, "What the hell?" And then he's like, "Oh," and then he just starts wailing the guy.
I think Tom Hardy was in a slightly better movie than this, with his acting. But everything else was kind of cheesy, and he's kind of really, rolling into it.
Yes.
I have to ask, what does Tom Hardy's regular voice sound like?
I have no idea because he's always. I want to say I think he's English, or Canadian. I don't know.
Because it just feels like he's always doing goofy voices in.
It's always in some sort of an accent or something, and over enunciating. I notice he does that too.
Yeah, there was a squeaky over-enunciating thing going on.
We are not going to hurt anyone who doesn't deserve it.
Exactly. Yes, that's what it is. And
it was very Paul Heyman-ish.
Yes, that's it.
And it was like he's a big dude. Like, why isn't it just... But yeah, there was a little bit of a whine to his voice. I had no idea that the alien would have an English-type accent. And even the alien over-enunciated.
Do we know who did the voice of the alien?
No, I can look it up.
It was probably Tom Hardy as well.
It probably was just synthesized voice of Venom.
Ooh. Yeah,
it was D. Bradley Barker.
Oh, why do I know that name? Oops, that's not.
Getting the voice right in Venom is a highly technical, but actor Tom Hardy has tried to explain how the movie's team transformed his own vocalizations into that of the symbiote in Venom. Oh wow. Oh, this guy did the voice in the cartoon. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
All right, so that's actually Tom Hardy's voice.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's very much a Ryan Reynolds
Yeah. Yes.
Deadpool juggernaut thing going.
IGN.com. Yes, that is Tom Hardy voicing Venom in the new trailer and film.
All right, that makes sense. Yeah, definitely the voice for Venom was better than the voice for Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
So, the important question: did the movie need Spider-Man?
I don't think it needed Spider-Man in the movie. It needed Spider-Man for the origin. I definitely needed that. Like, hey, why is it that it still kind of resembles Spider-Man?
Yeah, because like in the comics, it was obviously like a Spider-Man villain.
Yeah.
And then they later introduced other symbiotes who kind of had the similar look, but more because, hey, we've already established Venom than anything else.
Like, I would have had it where he comes back from back to life in Avengers 4 with this, somehow this new costume, and it ends up being, the symbiote. And then, you do the whole Eddie Brock thing where he's interning at the Bugle, and Eddie Brock's a reporter who, fucks with him because he's, a dick.
Yeah. And instead, they said some other newspaper in New York that he was rejected by. And I think it would have worked.
I think it was
better.
the Globe, I think they said the Daily Globe.
Yeah, something like that.
And but if that's not the paper.
Yeah, but if they had said the Daily Bugle, it would have connected him to the universe.
Right.
Like
instead, there was a Superman reference.
Yeah.
When he's in the car and he and Venom are both speaking to the girlfriend, and she's like, "Oh, so sound is his kryptonite."
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you just did a Superman reference in a fucking movie that's tied into Spider-Man.
Although Spider-Man doesn't really have a known weakness.
Right, but again, you could have just even if you did that, it would have been fine, because I guess it's pretty much just pop culture at that point. But have those that Spider-Man tie-in with the Bugle, just what you already did it with Jameson's son as the astronaut.
Yeah.
So why not continue along that and show establish these connections?
Well, are you familiar with the '90s Spider-Man cartoon?
Cartoon, yes.
So you saw the origin of Venom from that one, right?
Yes, that's actually how I came to know it, and then went back to the comic books.
Okay, yeah. See, I was reading comic books and knew it from that.
I just never read Spider-Man, but that cartoon was so well done that even someone who wasn't a Spider-Man fan like myself watched it, and then it did its job. It got me to read some comic books.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, it was mostly the origin from the cartoon.
Yeah.
Kind of. With the ship that crashes and James
shuttle,
piloting. Well, it was a shuttle in the cartoon. It was whatever this custom ship is.
Yeah.
In the movie, except they weren't actively trying to capture him. It was, it attached itself to the ship.
Yeah.
And then when it crashed, Spider-Man was there and touched it and became, the black costume and all that. So, yeah, it just felt like that little piece was missing.
Yeah.
Story-wise. But I just kind of feel like the second movie really has to address the people in San Francisco going, people are being found without their heads.
Heads, yeah.
Like, criminals are being found headless. And we don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, that's the problem. Like, you would think this is going to attract superheroes or something.
Yes.
If you have headless corpses everywhere.
Yes.
Especially since he did it at the end in the convenience store, bodega, or whatever it is.
In front of someone.
Not only in front of somebody, but if you've ever been in a store like that, they have cameras.
And, I mean, just to prove your point, hammer your point home, there was just that case yesterday where the kid was accused of groping an older lady in a bodega, and the video camera cleared him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there are those cameras all over the place in a bodega.
Yeah. And I can't say I'm as familiar with the ones in San Francisco.
And it was daytime.
Yeah. That's the other thing. Yeah. it was, yeah, I guess afternoon or whatever, and he's just in the bodega going to get tater tots and cheese,
Yeah.
and I am going to eat your organs, chomp. So not only do we have actually Venom on camera in there, we have Tom Hardy or Eddie Brock on camera in there,
Yes.
then transforming into Venom, talking to the guy, opening his face,
Revealing himself.
and then eating his head.
Yes.
And the question is, will they address this? Because this movie made a gobsmack of money.
You would think there might be a vigilante in New York who has a connection with a guy who like works for the government that would be like that will come up and be like, "Hey, we need to go investigate this."
Well, the Marvel MCU proper has a superhero in San Francisco with Ant-Man.
Yes. Oh, even better. That's right. Yes, it does.
So, admittedly, he's trapped in the quantum universe right now, but the point is that like the MCU exists in San Francisco.
Yes.
He may be the only hero there now, him and the Wasp, but it means that like somebody has to investigate this.
And that was the other thing. I wouldn't have minded some sort of Ant-Man reference.
That would have been perfect.
You know, even if it's just newspaper, like what that last scene where he's sitting on the steps and him and the girlfriend are drinking coffee. If when he said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be working for a newspaper," and she'd be like, "You gonna write about this? You gonna write about this giant in the bay?"
Yeah, that would have been something.
Just something to tie it in.
Although, really, who goes to work for newspapers now?
Yes, that's the other thing. Yeah, who goes to work for newspapers?
They're kind of, archaic.
Yeah.
But he could have had the Eddie Brock show back if he wanted it.
Yeah.
Which I
even that, like, if he would have said to her, "Oh, if she said, hey, you going back to the network?" No, I'm just going to keep doing my own thing and just do it freelance. All right, makes more sense.
Yeah, that would have made a lot more sense.
Of why he's now working, with that the FBI is having him do something for them. You know what I mean?
And it would have been a little more realistic.
Yeah.
Hey, even Clark Kent was a blogger for a while.
Yes.
So it's just like, I'm going to a newspaper.
Oh.
Why?
Oh, you had millions of people watching you on YouTube every day. But yeah, I guess that makes sense to go to the newspaper.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to cite names because they're scumbags, but like there are online news in quotes sites that have people tuning into their YouTubes and their website, daily to get their news.
Yeah.
So I mean, it would have worked a lot better if he was just independent YouTuber kind of deal.
Yep.
Then I'm going to work for a newspaper.
This is Eddie Brock coming to you from the Eddie Brock compound.
Oh God. Yes, but again, that would have worked a lot better than I'm going to a newspaper.
Yes. That a newspaper, which its own entity, working in collaboration with the FBI on this to talk to a serial killer and help with an investigation.
Yeah, and like I had heard that that Carnage was in the movie.
I kept waiting too. I was like, "Where the hell is Woody Harrelson?" I remember you and I talking about it. We're like, "Wow, we've seen 2 trailers. We have not seen Woody Harrelson. Does he know he's even in this movie?"
Yeah, but I had actually forgotten he was in the movie. I just remembered it was the character, and it just made me giggle seeing him with that red wig.
Yeah,
that curly red wig. I mean, come on, that guy's got as much hair as I do.
Yeah,
let's be honest. So it was just hilarious seeing him in that red wig. But it also will be nice to see a symbiote who's a completely different color.
Yeah,
because silver and black weren't that far apart.
No, on for a movie, with the lighting and the fact it was nighttime, yeah, it was pretty much.
It was like watching Transformers all over again.
Yeah, there's that one fight scene where I'm like, I don't know exactly who's punching who right now.
And that's your climactic fight scene.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, it never really felt like things escalated for me.
Once that was happening, I was like, wait, is the movie almost over?
Yeah. It's like, oh God, did you ever see M. Night Shyamalan's The Last Airbender?
No, because I watched the cartoon. I like that one better.
Good. Yeah, don't watch the movie. The cartoon is fantastic. Love it. One of
Yes.
my all-time top tens. The movie is shit, and I needed alcohol to get through it. But literally, the movie is flat. Like you have like Academy Award nominee or winning actors in it, and the movie is just so flat. Like I'm like at one point I'm just like, oh, this must be the final battle. I guess I don't know, and it was just like awful. And a little bit like that for me with the escalation. Like the villain never seemed menacing,
Yeah.
and there was never that sub boss that was needed for this movie. Like the bald security guy. Like he needed to become a symbiote too.
Yes.
Like I think that would have knocked it it would have given it the escalation it needed so that the final battle seemed bigger. Because I just don't.
I agree.
Like the villain just didn't click for me, and that's
Nope.
a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm a guy who loves villains, like because a good villain is what makes your movie.
Yes, we learned that from watching wrestling.
Exactly, it's the same
The
thing.
better the villain, the better the good guy.
And even from playing video games, I learned that
Yeah.
your villain also has to be like 5 levels above your character,
Yes.
because then there's a challenge. Otherwise,
Right.
if you're 10 levels above him, you just rock through the game and it's not a challenge.
Yeah. Well, they did say that Riot had weapons that Venom did not have.
Yeah, well, he turned his hands into scythes.
And he shot he was able to make spikes, and he was able to make them projectiles. Things that we see Carnage do in the comic book.
Well, we also saw it right at the beginning of the movie with, yeah, I guess that was him that was doing it right at the beginning.
Yeah.
When he took over. But it's just, the other thing was like, you never got the feeling like it would have been good to give Riot like real motivation to find, was Drake his name?
Yes.
The bad guy?
We have no idea why he was looking for him.
Like, why did he target Drake?
Just because of the rocket.
Yeah, but like we never got that from the movie.
No.
Like it never said, obviously like Drake just hated people.
Yeah.
And then the Riot just wants to, turn them into food.
Yeah.
But it's just like an astronaut survived. Then it becomes a Chinese old lady. Then it becomes a little girl. And it's just like, okay, but there's no motivation. Like, why is Riot seeking Drake? We know because it's the rocket shit that they tell us.
Yeah.
But, it just, there was no motivation as it was happening. So explaining it after the fact doesn't push the story. It just kind of fills in the holes. And story is a little more important than, exposition.
Yes.
But other than that, killing off like Jenny Slate's character that way was kind of anticlimactic.
Oh, and I've been such a fan of Jenny Slate since she was on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. I don't watch SNL, but I like her a lot.
She was only on for one season. She had this one character that was so fun. That
yeah.
if I explain it, I would not do it justice. You would have to check it out.
I'll have to look it up on YouTube. I'll toss a link into the show notes.
Oh my god!
But like even like her death, like because it happened off camera.
Yeah.
It was weak. Like
but somehow the symbiote that was in there with her died. We don't know why or how that died.
Yeah, it's we don't know, and it's it's the symbiote rejected her, and then it was open to the oxygen. You know what would have been even cooler? To watch it happen.
And gone with it that way.
Yeah, like I liked her in this, I really did, but like and when he's like leaving her in the room with the symbiote, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And at that point, I'm like, all right, shit's about to go down, and then we cut away.
Maybe that was something they had to omit to keep the PG-13 rating.
They should have went R.
If that's the case, then go R.
I mean, there's just like, if you're talking about eating heads repeatedly, fucking show it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, go R, do it right. Otherwise, you're just kind of like dancing around it. They need to do an R-word version. and it showed that like they were cutting corners also for that. Just to have a little bit of like showing Venom doing Venomy things.
Yes.
Like, yeah, you get to see him kill the people, but like, I will cut their heads off and put them in a pile. It's they could have done a little more like gallows humor,
Yeah.
like that, which was actually kind of funny. I like that line.
Take the bodies, put them over there. Put their heads, put them over there. Why? So we have two piles of heads and bodies.
It was just such a ridiculous thing, but it was funny.
Yeah, yeah.
And it would have been great to just keep that dark edge to the humor, but like there weren't many jokes. So it's either like keep it serious or keep it funny, but they didn't really want to commit to either.
What was ended up being funny is stuff that seemed like to me it was like unintentional funny. Like I don't think they wanted this stuff to be funny, but it ended up being humorous because it's almost campy.
Like which bit?
Like that line right there. It's like, did they mean for that to be funny, or are they just trying to characterize the symbiote right now?
I think they realized that line is funny because that got a laugh in my theater.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But it's like one of the rare like jokes, straight up jokes.
Yeah.
And it really should have been either like be tongue in cheek, dark humor, or just be serious, deadly serious. And they kind of went back and forth. But what can you do? So, would you be in if they had a sequel to this?
Yes, I'll check it out.
Yeah. Well, I believe the next one is Morbius the Living Vampire.
Yeah.
With, I want to say it was Jared Leto.
Yes. Yeah.
So we can see that, I guess, next year. There's a few more irons on the fire for the. But
the other thing is, to me, is like, well, if they're trying to build up this Spider-Verse, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't you need more than one movie a year?
Well, Marvel Cinematic started a movie a year.
I know, but we're at a point now where it's like you guys know the directions that you're going. I don't think when the first Iron Man movie came out, I don't think it really had this idea of where it would go and how big it would be.
Well, even DC's only doing a movie a year.
I know, well, that's because they suck. So,
well, we do have James Gunn is in talks for Suicide Squad 2.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for big things on that.
So Suicide Squad 2 will be big, Wonder Woman will be big, Aquaman will be big, Shazam will be big, but they're two big characters for the company can't seem to get their wheels on.
No, they seem to want to go with Supergirl over Superman now.
Right, and that's fine if we didn't already invest in how many different Superman movies leading up to Justice League.
We had Superman, Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, and then Justice League.
Yeah, though we had, but we also had the other Superman movie, the first one with Cavalli. Man of Steel was Brandon Roth, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, that was Superman Returns.
That was Superman Returns, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, these are the only three from the Snyderverse, as it were. So, I like Cavill. I mean, I do.
Me too.
But he was just not given anything good to work with.
Well, no.
And I think at this point, even he's starting to admit, like, yeah, it was a bit lacking what I was given.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because there could have been some cool ass, movies. But hey, at least Superman punches this time, as opposed to Superman Returns.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll see those movies as they come out. Next one up is Aquaman, I believe.
Yes, which it looks really good.
It does. We had some new footage from Comic-Con that we talked about last week. So, until then, we have Hot Pick.
Oh, they're gonna say a movie name. I was like, what movie are you gonna say right now?
No, movies are a little quiet, and then till the Christmas season rolls in.
Yeah,
so we have a couple weeks for that, but it's slowly ramping up now. But this week we do have hot picks. So you hinted you might have something good for us this week, Stugots.
I have the A Star Is Born soundtrack. 15, 16 songs and some audio clips from the movie in there, and each one just amazing songs. If you like some outlaw country, which I'm a big fan of, there's something for you. If you like Lady Gaga's pop music, there's something for you. If you like Bette Midler style ballads. Lady Gaga nails those too. The soundtrack, really powerful songs that will you find yourself, if you listen to them, if you enjoy it like I've enjoyed it, you'll be walking around just talking about the songs, in a separate conversation of the movie.
Sounds good. I do love good movie soundtrack.
And I don't think I can't remember the last good movie soundtrack that was out. It had to be, I want to say Kill Bill is one that I can remember. Movies now have good songs in them. Like obviously the Guardians of the Galaxy have great soundtracks, but those are songs picked for it. These songs are from the movie and play into the movie directly.
See, I'm going to disagree and say last year's The Greatest Showman.
Oh yeah, that one was good. It's just that was musical, so it's not my style.
I know it's not your style.
But I know what you mean. Yes, yeah.
But if you're into musicals, it's fantastic.
Yes, I could definitely see that.
And there is a good gamut because there is show tunes, but then there's like a bit of an operatic sound to it.
Oh, good.
The Jenny Lind character.
I would love to see more of that.
So, yeah.
In movies today.
Oh, well, we'll see what happens. But my pick this week is something as violent as I thought Venom should be.
Oh?
And it's a new TV show called Titans.
Oh!
So Titans premiered on October 12th on the DC Universe app.
Okay.
And the first episode is really tight. Again, they're doing one episode a week for 10 weeks or so. So I've only seen one so far. But it's the story of Raven.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a girl who's having some weird things happening. And people are out to get her.
Oh, wow.
But because she's also having these dreams where she keeps seeing Dick Grayson and the Flying Graysons, she seeks him out, where he's a detective in Detroit now.
Oh.
And Robin by night. And then we also saw glimpses of Starfire, who is having issues of her own. But in the end, we know she's looking for Raven. And we don't know why she's looking for Raven. And then we ended the episode by seeing a little bit of Beast Boy as a tiger who steals a video game and then heads off into the woods.
Huh.
So we have our first 4 members of the team.
Okay.
It is very dark. It is very violent. There is blood just shooting all over the place.
Nice.
There is a woman who is shot in the head. And it is quite graphically, she's been shot in the head.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So it's almost overkill, the amount of violence. Like Robin's beating up people, blood squirting everywhere kind of deal.
Yeah.
But overall, it's really good so far. It's really tight. And I really can't wait to see where it goes next. The next episode introduces Hawk and Dove. So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
And I got 10 weeks of goodness to, go through until they introduce the next show on the app.
All right. I should check this out.
You should.
When does Young Justice return?
I believe Young Justice is the show after Titans.
Okay. I will probably jump on at that point.
Yeah, because what they're really doing is it's like AMC does, where they run a show.
Yeah.
And as it ends, kick off the next one.
Oh, okay. That works.
So I'm guessing, we're in October now. So December, January, we'd be looking at Young Justice. After that, we'd see Harley Quinn. And then
now the Harley Quinn is a animated.
It is Harley Quinn animated. Kelly Cuoco is doing the voice of Harley, which really can't be any worse than Melissa Rauch doing the Batman and Harley movie.
No.
Ooh, that one was kind of bad. But, we'll see how that one rolls. The trailer for that was actually very funny. It really worked for me. So.
All right. I'll have to look at that too.
All right. So as we take off into the DC universe, you can check out more of us.
What?
I know. At geekodrome.co. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, And although I haven't checked that it's available live because I've just been a little busy end of this week, but as you hear this, you should be able to hear us on Spotify now.
How did this? Oh, we're gonna be cashing checks now, baby.
Oh yeah,
We're getting the Spotify money.
Well, if you've ever looked how much artists make from Spotify, we'll be sharing a Coke.
All right. How apropos, wearing a Coca-Cola shirt today.
Yes, you are. So we should be on Spotify now. I have to double check that it's out there. But if you want to hit us up, tell us how much you love hearing us on Spotify. We're on Twitter at Geekodrome Pod and on Facebook at Geekodrome Podcast. I'm John. You can find me directly on Twitter at Just John. Stugots is at Don Stugots on Twitter. And on Monday nights, he hosts the Eat Up Show. What are you cooking up this week, Stugots?
This week is going to be some keto-friendly chicken cutlets.
Sounds.
If you remember, a few weeks ago, I showed people how to make keto-friendly breadcrumbs. Now I'm going to show you what to do with those breadcrumbs.
Are we going to have keto-friendly chicken parmesan coming up?
We could easily have that.
We just need some keto cheese, and then we're good to go.
Well, cheese is keto-friendly, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm not on the keto diet.
You know what's more annoying than someone telling you that they're fucking vegan? Is someone saying I'm on keto. Just real quick. Last night I went to a dinner party. Brought some beautiful pastries from an Italian bakery over here by the house. And the first thing someone said when they opened it up and looked at it was like, "I can't eat none of that. I'm on keto." Nobody cares. No one cares. Shut up. Either eat it or don't.
Well, I'm on gluten-free. Do you have gluten-free?
Listen, gluten-free, I understand it's an allergy. Who the hell wants to deal with it? It's going to upset your stomach. I get it. But you're on keto. It's not for a medical reason. You're just trying to lose weight, and I get it. That's fine. I try too. I work out 5 days a week. I try to watch what I eat. I try to cut back on my drinking. But if someone puts something delicious in front of me, like a chocolate-covered cannoli, I'm going to eat it and shut the fuck up and enjoy it.
Now I want a chocolate-covered cannoli.
Oh, you should go get them.
Hey, Earl, we got any chocolate-covered cannolis back there?
Why didn't you yell for Andrea?
Because she's sleeping.
But that would have been the joke. You would have yelled for Andrea the way I yelled for Jen, but Jen's working.
I didn't want to steal your joke.
No, well, I mean, it was better than stealing that horse shit.
Hey, look, just because I go back 20 years, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into that now. So
yeah, that's what we got this week. Some keto chicken cutlets.
Keto chicken cutlets to go with the keto breadcrumbs. You know, that sounds just delicious and just too sweet.
I hit the counter pretty hard. I put a little scratch on the granite.
That really is too sweet.